Hi everyone, how are you? Well, you know what this is. I told you it was Destiny Night. Well, it is. It's my little tribute to Ricardo and his team, Heath, young Ben, and also young Tony. All of you, because you've given me so much support over these last few months with Help for Heroes. You've collected so much money. You've really taken an interest, and I'm very, very grateful to you. Now, I realize I'm not wearing as properly Ricardo, but I think my flesh is not quite as attractive as yours and your team. But there it is, Destiny Benidorm. So if anybody from around the world, wherever you are, when you come to Benidorm, you have a great little bar there to go to. It's a small bar, but it's one of the most friendly there is. So please go there and enjoy it. Anyway, how are you all? I'm fine. People have been saying how tired I look, but I'm not tired. I've had a lot of sleep, and I've enjoyed myself today because although it's very cold here, as I said this morning, it is sub-Arctic here. In a few weeks' time, this will all be snow. But I enjoyed myself this morning because I went into what was once the old town hall and is now a kind of cafe restaurant, and it was really very charming. There were kind of murals up on the wall, and it was very Swedish. Lots of people were in there quite early on, I thought, at 12 o'clock, eating food which I'd never seen before, but I'm sure it was, fairly ordinary, but their way of doing it. And it was very nice, and I had a cup of coffee, and it was on the house, which was nice. And then when I was leaving, I looked out the back door, and I thought, oh, I'll go out that way. And I looked out there, and it was like opening out into a film set, because there was a huge market, and an absolutely thriving market, people selling things. I mean, the center of Umea is just like any other place anywhere in Europe, and I guess around the world. It's a shopping center, shops everywhere. But I went along, and I enjoyed being there, watching people, watching two dogs have a friendly sexual fight, two little dogs. And then I went and had what can only be described as the largest ice cream cornet seen in the history of ice cream cornets. Now, I know I said that in Norway when I was eating there, but this one was even bigger. It took me 20 minutes to eat it, and it was delicious. And then you say to me, well, what the hell are you doing eating ice cream in ice cold weather? Well, I'm an ice cream addict, and I can't resist it in whatever weather. So that's what I did. This is a very flippant conversation, I know. But it was an enjoyable morning. It gave me a chance to get out and stretch my legs and everything, and I'm back in my room now, and apart from taking some luggage to the parking place for tomorrow morning, because I want an early morning, because I'm off to Stockholm. So we shall see. I had a lovely walk down by the river. It is a lovely river. I forget what it's called now, the Ebb, or the Emme, or the Ebbe, something like that. Gosh, my information is wonderful, isn't it? You can really rely on it. Anyway, what else have I got to tell you? I've had some interesting emails in, which will really upset you, Nino, of people asking me to dance. There was Joe in Maryland in the USA, And she said, "Don't let them stop you dancing, Victor. I love it." Then this morning I had one from the Maldives. Gumal or Gopal, I think his name was, and he asked me to dance. It's my speciality, my sit-down dancing, my silent sit-down dancing, since the music men don't want me to use their music anymore for a charity event. So there you are, that's why I was dancing. So I'm going to give you a little foretaste, especially for you, Nino. Staying alive, staying alive, oh, 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 oh. Staying alive, staying alive, oh, 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 oh. Staying alive, staying alive. Oops, elbow. Well, there you are. That's for you, Joe, and you, Gopal. I hope you enjoyed that little taster. And so don't forget what I said about Destiny, please. It's I think it's in the Calle San Vicente in Benidorm, and it's right opposite Italian Twist. And if you want a decent restaurant, these are commercials, of course, I know that, but I'm entitled to do that for my friends, especially when they've been so supportive of me. So when you go to Destiny, right opposite Destiny, you will find Italian Twist, the best Italian food you've ever had. All right. What else has happened today? No, I've been sitting in my room again, contemplating everything that I seem to have done in this last, well, it's 3 weeks on Thursday since I left. And you remember at the beginning I was a bit mimpy and everything about being on my own and everything. Well, I'm still mimpy and I don't enjoy being on my own. I'm rather sick of it, actually, not able to talk to anybody. But I did have a word with a young lady downstairs about these ghastly machines they're putting in. I mean, I never know which button to press in this room, which will turn on the light, which will turn off the light, and so on. And they had to come and show me. They rather assume that you know these things, so they don't bother to tell you when you arrive. And downstairs there's this hideous machine that greets you, and that is supposed to be the reception clerk. Well, I prefer to see the face of a reception clerk rather than the face of a machine saying check in and check out. I loathe them. You can say that I'm behind the times. Okay, so I'm behind the times. But it really is. I mean, when you've done a 10-hour journey as I did yesterday, and I arrived at a hotel to be met by a machine, and with all the instructions on the side how to use it, you can imagine how I felt. So I'm very anti machines. So there. Well, time moves on, and I have to move on with it. I shall be up early tomorrow morning. My journey to Stockholm is alleged to take about 6 to 7 hours. Well, we'll see. But I've booked into a really lovely hotel there because it's part of my giving myself a treat. I want you to know that by the time I get back to Benidorm, I shall be penniless. So if anybody would like to adopt me and take me in and look after me, please, I'd be very, very grateful. And as a reward, I would willingly dance for them every day. I'd dance, my sit-down silent dancing. I'd happily do that if they'd just adopt me, because otherwise I'm going to be out on the street again, I'm afraid, collecting the odd coins to keep me alive. Anyway, the journey is gradually, it's under control. It's been under control all the way along. But I really want to get home now. I want to get home because traveling for so long is quite tiring. And each country keeps changing their different cultures. They've got different cultures, and they, even when I go to the parking lot, you have to put a card in first. Sweden seems to be of the opinion that you pay first and then enjoy whatever it is you want. Always you have to give your credit card for anything first. Now, I didn't get that in Norway, and I haven't had that in any other country. Maybe the odd place, but not like here. Everything I do, if I have a cup of tea, I've got to pay for it first. Extraordinary, isn't it? But I'm okay. I'm happy as one can be, and I'm not overly tired. And I'm looking forward to getting to Stockholm. A, to have a rest. I'm there for 3 nights. A, to have a rest, and B, to see what is their capital city and supposed to be very charming. So I ain't got much more to tell you. I know that Mrs. Olofsson would send her love if she was here. I'm not sure about her dog and the cash machine, but Mrs. Olofsson would. She'd send her best wishes and love. So, my darlings, wherever you are in the world, to you, Joe in Maryland, and you, Gopal in the Maldives, and anybody else who watches this rubbish at 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock every day, I wish you well. I wish you a good night's sleep. And remember, destiny, Benidorm, Ricardo, Keith, young Ben, and Tony. Good night to them, and good night to you. Bye. Until Stockholm. Well, I have an obstinate, there we are, until Stockholm.